Hello and welcome. It's Tuesday Tarot. So if you're new to Tuesday Tarot, welcome. So I am going to actually show a tarot deck before I jump in and start Tuesday Tarot. So Tuesday Tarot, I do tarot card readings. And I've got like a bunch of tarot decks out ready to go. But I also talk a little bit about tarot, in between readings. Because sometimes it's a little slow and as we wait for people to jump on. And sometimes it's kind of fun to learn some tarot facts. So, Tuesday Tarot, welcome. So, I am going to show you guys some pretty cool cards. I actually just got some new cards. I'm really bad when I go on vacation. I go to local occult stores or metaphysical stores, and I told myself no new tarots. This one I fell in love with, and I'm going to make sure I have mirror. I think that's right. Yep. Okay. So here's my new deck, the Runic Tarot. These are so cool. I'm really excited to share them with you guys. So if you've not seen them before, and I just charged them last night in the full moon, so I'm very, very excited about that too. So it does come with a book. And the reason I'm going to show you the book is because these are a little bit different. So a lot of times, like when I'm teaching tarot, I talk about how most tarot usually follows the Rider-Waite form. So, you usually have the full and all of that. Some decks are going to be completely different. So that does happen. And I have some decks that you would be like, whoa, what does that mean? And you do need to actually have the book. So a lot of times, like when I took one of my tarot teachers, he literally said, everybody take your decks out. So we took our decks out, and then he's like, and take your book out. And then he passed around a garbage can for us to throw our books in. So they're called the white book because the majority of the time they are white. So sometimes we do get them when they're not. So I have a lot of decks that don't have the white book. I have some where I haven't thrown it out. But most of the time they do follow. Now, if they don't follow, so when I get the decks, then that's when I grab the book and I'm like, all right, what is different? So here is the book. What makes this different is that Elder Futhark runes are on the cards. So it does take a little bit of a different interpretation, especially if you do not know Elder Futhark. Now, I read both, but if you don't know it, it will be a little bit harder. Not super hard, but you will need the book. So it's really great. So, it has the picture of the card. Oops, there we go. It's got the picture of the card, and then it goes into detail. It literally says in the book, the image description, the meanings, the keywords. So it talks about upright and reversed keywords, and then interpreting the runes. And so each card has that. And then when you get into the suits, it does just briefly talk about each of the suits. So it talks about when we're in the suits. So Ace of Horns, which is our cups, because of course, like Vikings drink out of horns. So we're not going to drink out of a cup, right? So it talks about the image description, the meaning, the keywords, and the interpretation of the runes. So some of them, the runes are really cool to see. You can see them, and some of them you don't see them as well, but I mean, look at how cool the box is. I just love that. And it is actually one of the cards. So exciting. So what I do also like is on the inside, if you do not know the runes are right there, the Elder Futhark runes, right there. So that's also a plus. So if you don't know them, they're right there to help you out. And I love that it has the Han of Elm on the back. So, all right, I'm going to show you each of the cards. So here's the Fool. The Magician. And, some of them, oh yeah, like right there's the rune. There we go. Some of them, the rune is really easy to see, and some of them you have to like look. It's like where's Waldo? It's like, where's Elder Futhark rune? So I love this one. I love the High Priestess. She reminds me of, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm blanking. Oh, Maria of Heiling. That's who she reminds me of. Wonder if she was the inspiration. Here's the Empress. Yeah, these cards are really, really cool. I'll hold up the box after I show all the cards again. Here's the Emperor. Yeah, this deck, I was like, seriously, I was like, I will get a crystal. I'm not going to get a deck. Not that I should get any crystals either, because I have so many crystals. So, you know, hey, it was vacation. This was my treat for myself. Oh, Hierophant. The Lover's card. This one is so cool. Sorry, I'm going to use the word cool. The Chariot. Freya right there on the Chariot. I love this Strength card. I love polar bears, so this was like just kind of perfect. And look at how cool the Hermit is. The Hermit is actually a tree with a face in it. That's what I love so much about this. So it's like your Sata. Oh, look at this one. Yeah, it was really funny. My nephew's like, what are those? And so my little 11-year-old nephew and I were like, look, and he's like, these are pretty cool. Got to train them while they're young. There's our Justice card. And look at how cool the Hangman is. Oh, someone's getting ice cream. It's hot here because I was like, I need ice cream, but my butt doesn't. And here's the Unalive card. That's Odin. And that, again, is the cover of the box. And look at how gorgeous the Temperance card is. I think this is going to be my new favorite deck. So... the Devil. And look at this Tower card. I mean, that just says it all. I could spend like hours going through each card because all of these cards literally are associated with the Poetic Edda. If you're not familiar with it or with Nordic magic, I mean, each card, it's like there's a mythology and a story behind every single card. So that makes it even like more amazing. So here's our star. Oh, and Vicky's here. We'll let Vicky up. Here's our moon card. Welcome, Vicky. There's the sun. Oh, check out the Judgment card. And yes, it's a Valkyrie. Of course, we can't go to Valhalla without the Valkyrie. Here's the World. And then we get into the horns. And I'm not too talkative as I'm going to show these cards, but these are just the horns. But you can see the Elder Futhark runes, and there's multiple runes on the horns. And in some cases, bind runes. And you can see the similarities. Like maybe what I'll do is I'll try to find a couple similarities as we look. But yes, these cards are just so amazing. I believe there are actually runes on the horns, but there are pentacle cards too. They're actually not called pentacles, they're called the shields. So slight difference. And you'll see like there's just runes throughout. Oops, got to get over to the right. There we go. Runes throughout the cards, which makes it really cool. I love this because there's 2 pillars, and on each pillar there's a rune. And here's our page. The other thing I like is the balance of feminine and masculine energy throughout the cards, because we have kind of an imbalance when we look at the Elder Futhark, but we don't when we're looking, or not Elder Futhark, I'm sorry, the Rider-Waite. There's our Queen of Cups. I love that card too. There's our King. And now we get into the shields. So the shields would be read the same way you would read the coins. But of course, we can't just, have a coin, because we got to have a shield. Hello, Bren.
Hello. Oh, this deck. I was so close to loving it, but there's one card, just one card that's like ruined it.
Oh. See, I love this deck so far, but I just got it and I charged it last night during the full moon. So
Is the what is it? Morrigan. I say it wrong. Morrigan goddess that I've just been that has been brought to me, to be fair.
they're actually the runic tarot.
I think it's the 5 of horns, I think.
Okay, I just showed that one. Let's see.
That's the one card that makes me go, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but the way that the person wrote about it in the guidebook, yeah, it was a whiff. There's Hell, my matron. There she is.
Okay. Well, sometimes in the
That's like
guidebook, you just need to throw it out.
So that card is like hell is like the sadness that we hold within us, is it? Or
I wouldn't say that. It's just ultimately, at least how that card is depicted, it's kind of showing the side of hell that is like being forced to face the parts of emotional disappointment, or having those moments of like having to face the reality of that emotional distraught, but not facing it. It festers and it stays within, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But when you're able to face it and accept the fact that, yeah, that wasn't fair. Yes, I did get emotionally hurt, but I need to accept it, then just move forward from it, or even just embrace it that it didn't work out this way, and that's okay.
yeah. And then that gives you a choice to make then if you've been through it. But within that picture, it is within fear and guilt and looking down on yourself is what brings the demons to you. Does that make sense? Sorry.
Oh, that 5 of wands, I'll tell you. Woo!
Right? Heavy. This one's heavy. You know what, though? The 5s are all heavy. Like, even when I'm teaching the tarot class that I teach, I always tell everybody, don't let the 5s scare you.
Do you know what's crazy about the 5s? Like my 2 kids are born on the 23rd, and my dog's born on the 23rd, and my door number is 32. So it's like the 5s are very much in my life.
You want me to go back?
That is a different way of having the 8 of wands, because it's like he's using the runes to make the wands go into formation.
Yes.
Yeah,
like it was, this deck is so, like, and I was saying before you got here, my 11-year-old nephew was sitting with me looking at him after I'd bought him. He's like, what are those? And he's like, this is really cool. So, like, if he starts reading tarot, it's going to be with this deck. I can already tell you.
Can I ask a question, please? With I can't say the word, sorry, reading or whatever. So it's depending on the cards. Is it not actually the actual meaning without it? sorry, am I making sense? It's like, so it all depends on the pack of the cards and not of the actual meaning.
Oh, go ahead, Bryn.
Well, for me, I'm strictly an intuitive reader, meaning that I can grab one deck, pull out one card, and I can grab a different deck and pull out the same card. Technically, it is the same card. However, its meaning and is speaking differently. Like you can have the Two of Swords, like in that deck, have showing like that maiden figure, and she's like sitting down with her leg up and sitting underneath and having the blades like that. It kind of shows like a more grounded, like being on physical ground and not moving physically, but then still having that animalistic side because we're in the pelt. So it's that being grounded and not making a choice, but just trying to stay perfectly still and realistic at the same time. Well, if you take like the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, she's sitting on a rock and there's an ocean behind her. So now she's like turning away from her emotions and sitting perfectly still. Not as close to being practical, but she's not allowing her emotions to take place. So you can see the variation of it.
Yeah. So in my eyes, I seen something different. I seen like a woman with strength and the ability to understand the sexuality and the beauty is within, but also understand that she has the power of the sword within. So in my eyes, sometimes it depends on the mood set of how you are in that moment in time is how you read it. Does that make sense? Sorry.
Yes.
And I read really similar to Bren, but I do the symbology and the intuitive. So I mean, like I'll know the keywords. So if somebody asks me a keyword, I'll be able to go, oh yeah, I know the keyword. But a lot of times, I mean, you'll get like, there's 10 different keywords, sometimes even more depending upon the interpretation and who you've learned from. And some of the keywords are quite opposite of each other. So, yeah, it just depends on the reading. So those are the Runic Tarot. Yes, my new favorite deck. Like, don't I say that every month when I show a new deck?
What would be your perfect deck if you were starting out? What would be like your starter point?
I always recommend Rider-Waite or a Rider-Waite-ish deck because most books are taught off of that. So, and once you learn Rider-Waite, you can learn any tarot.
What's Rider-Waite, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold up. This one's in Romanian, but it will usually say Rider-Waite. So Romanian is tarot Rider-Waite. But the deck will look like this. It will just be in whatever country you are, it will be in your language. So I just happened to, when I was in Romania, pick up a Romanian deck. I do love this deck. There we go. Tarot of Traditions. This is literally like Rider-Waite, but the pictures are a lot crisper and more 3D.
See that JB? My kids are both called Jay, and the second names are Blakely as well. I know that probably is nothing to do with it, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, and when I teach tarot, I recommend that everybody get a Rider-Waite deck, and if they don't want to, like I have like a big, like I think it's like almost 300 pages like book that goes with my class that I teach. And a picture of each Rider-Waite deck picture is in there. So even if they don't want to, it's as long as they, have the book, they're fine. But once you understand Rider-Waite, you can usually pick up any deck. Now, there are going to be a lot of decks that are different, like Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. That one, you got to get Aleister Crowley's book. So that one's a little...
Mr. Crowley. I adore you, Mr. Crowley. Just the way you went about it wasn't the most ideal, but brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's brilliant in his own way. Robert Plant owned his house at one point.
Oh, okay.
Cool now
that? We're going into...
Can you imagine what went on with like Robert Plant living there with...
what's going on over
Because with all of the rituals and calling of dearly departed that Crowley had going on there. I mean, I can tell from pictures that place is haunted. So
My dad always said, "Be scared of the living and not the dead." But is there any ones out there, any cards out there that is from women? Because I believe that the women have got such power, which is why they're not mentioned an awful lot. You know, the goddesses and stuff like Lilith and Morrigan, who we look at. I believe they've got such a strong story behind them, but it's being put out in a different way to give us the illusion of women are very needy and stuff, and it's all about like witchery and you know dark. When in reality, I believe that there's much more light out there. It's just not shown because of the power of the women is that powerful. Like they don't want us to have the acknowledgement. Does that make sense? I have to start saying that. Sorry.
I think there's like a lot. Oh, Brent, did you want to touch on that?
Oh, well, I mean, all that I was really going to say is that, well, truth be told, and even though I am one of them, men have an IQ of a dead plant. I said it, and I'm going to stand on that mountain. Because, ultimately, to be point blank, I mean, to me, it just makes no sense, but when you have one completely try to over-dominate and overpower the other, or trying to force the other to go into one direction and invalidate and put down, and just to say that they're inferior, yuck, nope, mm-mm. And it's really what they're doing indirectly is that not only are they denying the other person or the lover or the woman, but they're also turning off that part of themselves completely. The emotional intelligence goes out the window. The ability to feel out the window. The ability to defend something with everything that you've got, because that is a feminine quality. Mother Bear, when she comes in swinging, it's like the ability to sustain, because that's also the earth, that's a feminine element, and the ability to provide that nurturing and to give that spiritual soothing. If it's not respected in the woman, well, the man is just like stuck with the burning wind, the fire and the air, because those are masculine elements. So he has this flaming wind, which that could be like aggressive speaking, while the woman over here is water and earth. Those two elements is life. The man, well, he has probably the two most destructive elements that really need to have the woman in the first place to exist. Truth be told. But that's just what I see.
Yeah. Well, and there needs to be, we have to have a balance as much as sometimes we don't. Like, I work with way more goddesses than gods, but I think part of that is because I grew up in a Christian church, so I just was like a little bit too overwhelmed by the Godhead. So I guess it's like my way of and I'm an Aries, which is more masculine energy. So I think I'm like just trying to like balance out my feminine energy. So,
well, for me, I have, let's see here, I have an air sun, an air moon, an air rising, an air Mercury, a wet Venus, a wet Mars, a Earth Jupiter, a windy Saturn, two Earth Uranus, Earth Neptune, and wet Pluto, and a flaming North Node and a windy South Node. So I'm again wet and windy, but the elements that are like wind and, well, actually wind and earth, I mean, this is just my lovely interpretation, but the air element is like the more secondary masculine element, and the earth element is the secondary feminine element. So, but the primary for feminine is that water, that nurturing, intuitive and being able to spiritually nourish. While for the masculine, it's, well, fire. And, well, when you put fire with something, it flames it, it consumes it, but then it turns it into ether. So for me, I'm like a, what's that called? Not a, what is that called? I don't want to sound like hurricane because that sounds too basic. I'm like a squall. A squall.
Squalor.
Yeah, blowing it and throwing water all over the place.
And do you know what's crazy? Sorry, I've just been thinking of what you were saying, and I was like, so it's like you need the yin and the yang, because at the minute on fire and the women cools it down in a certain way. Am I seeing that wrong? Sorry.
Yep, and the earth element being, stones, rock, gravel. When you drop that on a fire, it goes, snuff.
Oh, it's done.
So it's about balance. It's about like don't give too much of the grit onto it, but also respect and love, and just have that balance out there and understanding.
So today is Tuesday Tarot. So anyone in the chat who would like a tarot reading, please feel free. In between readings, we will be just discussing tarot and divination, not just tarot. We may talk about oracle cards or tea leaf reading. I mean, who knows? Well, we sometimes get off on little fun kicks while we wait for questions. And if you don't have a question, you can type general, and we'll pull a reading for you, a general reading. So always good. Always good. So
Some examples of like some styles of tarot decks. Like, well, this was my first deck, and this is the. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the book. So we can put the box and the name of it is. It is. Get over here. No, that's not it. It is. Beginner's Guide to Tarot by Juliet Sharman Burke, and with art illustrated by Giovanni Casilli. So it looks like that. And this type of tarot, it's similar to Rider-Waite-Smith, but one of the main differences with it is that this is a deck that has what's the word I'm looking for? The way that the lovers is depicted is not the traditional like Adam and Eve figure, and they have a divine angelic figure in the middle. This one has. If I can find them. Okay. Is that it? No, that was a friend. Here it is. This lovers is like, oh no, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Which one do I pick? Do I pick the lady in red who's not giving all of herself, like hiding half her face? Or do I choose this one that's in white that is standing nice and content? She knows herself, she's pure, and she's confident. Do I trust the two-timing seductress that's like, or do I go with the peaceful one? Decisions. Uh-oh. If you don't pick, I'll pick for you. And you get the arrow right there to the head. And then the first one you see, you fall in love with.
Who would have you picked out of them two? I would have picked the one who was more like questioning it, because it shows that she's been through experiences, which shows that of maybe her choices. The one who's there, who's like trustworthy and everything, in a way could show that she has not gone through the life difficulties, and she's not experiences and seeing the darkness which is around us. That's it.
And actually, in a way, the more I look at it, I kind of see this too. Like the lady in white, it's like the look on her face is like she's kind of annoyed with the lady in red, like, will you go away? Miss, go away, he's mine. But, maybe we should go this way. I don't know, what should I do? I better hurry up and pick, because this arrow is getting closer. Raising euros. I don't think there is any other card that was like heavily variated, but this one was my first deck, and it was, this is another variation. This is how the High Priestess looks. It still has the same themes of the white and black color, but she doesn't have the magical library behind her. Just instead has
She
some
doesn't look happy though, does she? She looks sad.
Well, because the high priestess, she may look sad, but what she's doing is she's completely shutting out anything that's exterior. She's going within. And she's also holding these white lilies in her hand. And she's just sitting there just pondering and just thinking, I wonder. Because to go within, that's also going within one's quote-unquote underworld. And if you notice, there is a variation of the triple goddess aspect in this. Because you see the two moons at the very top, there's one up there, one there, and then you see also another moon in the center. So it's making that triangle. That's the aspect. The tower is the same. That's kind of the same. That's the same. This one's the same. That's the same.
Is the triangle very important because of its structure of the necessary of meaning of strength and stuff? Why is the triangle so much out there at this moment in time? Is it just because of the structure of the strength of it, or is it got another meaning behind it?
Well, but the triangle shape, it can mean a lot of different things, because at least for astrology, you have the triangle representing the points of like a start point, and then you have another point, then you have another point, and it goes back. So it makes like that triangle shape. And this triangle shape shows elements that are complementary. So Aries would be complementary with Leo, and Leo would be complementary with Aries, and then Sagittarius would be complementary for both of them because of the same element. And depending on where the shape of the triangle is pointing, that's showing where the energy is being directed.
So is that kind of like David? You know, David is the star. So what you've just explained to me, in my eyes, I'm seeing at every point that you've just told me about. It seems like it makes up a star. So does that then make up David?
It is funny you put it that way, because if you notice, you have one triangle like that, then you have another triangle going like this. So then you have the triangle this way, but then you also have the triangle that way. So it kind of does make that shape. But you also have the triangle going that way, and then the other triangle going that way. So it's like here. It's easier if I draw it here, instead of me just flopping my hands around like I'm a bird or something.
Always fun. It is Tuesday Tarot, so those, wow, losing my voice already. So those in the chat, if you would like a tarot reading, you can type general or type your question, and Bren and I will gladly read. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but please feel free to do your question, because we will do readings also. So, but in between readings, we will chat when there's downtime for readings.
Okay, so you have, let's see how I'm going to do it. So you have one triangle pointing up, say Kingu Doodle. Now you're going to have another triangle go here, here. Oh, that's not really that good, but I mean, now you have that triangle. But then you're also going to have this triangle. So you're going to go from here. So you're going to have that one. And then you're just going to have another one go like so. It's like, oh god, UCB is kicking in, but you can see that one triangle is bugging me. But you see like how that's like what is.
So it's like a crown. It ends up being a crown, doesn't it, in a way?
I gotta know. And funny enough, this shape of the star, even though you probably won't believe it, well, I mean, that's one's a little bit better, but that star, like the star of that Star of David, that's also, funny enough, an astrology chart, too.
And it's crazy because my name's Victoria, but my two kids are Jamie and Jessica. And I made the symbol once, and then when a lot of people who say that they're from the dark side kind of thing, of the symbol that I made with the V and the two J's, and I was like, oh, I get a bit confused sometimes. And But that's why I have not got a lot of knowledge or not, and I just try and stick to my heart, and I think what I would do to like my mum, my dad, or my children, and to me. So I try not to read a lot at the moment because I kind of believe why I can't spell as well is all being a blessing in disguise. And because I used to be a runner and I never got a lot of education, I also see that as a blessing. So it's like just educating myself as we go on.
So, this. Believe it or not, that is an astrology chart, too. This is another way you can draw them. You're probably looking at me like, how the heck can that be an astrology chart? I'll follow the points. See up here at the top? That's your ascendant. That's your first. There's your second. There's your third. There's your fourth. There's your fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10, 11, then 12. Going back to the
And
first.
13 is the middle. 13's like the ba boom.
Yep, but in the middle, right in here, we're in the hexagon. That's where you put the chart, the person's name in there, the time of birth, and all that information. You put that in there in the middle.
So I've always kind of thought, you know, a lot of people, if they've lived so many lives, then they've lived every star sign, they've lived through everything. So then the 13 is missing, like numerology is how important it is because the middle is like when you've gone through everything and you've lived through everything throughout every timeline. The middle is like, good job, Sorry, I'm not good at explaining.
No, you're fine. That's
Yeah.
part of the joy of like when we're all here. Sometimes we understand because we're on the spiritual path. As weird as that sounds.
And if you want to go even more deeper, this is actually also a symbol of taking the qualities of Jupiter and Venus, putting them together. You're probably thinking, how? Well, triangle is 3 sides. 3 is the number of Jupiter. Then you have the hexagon in the center. That's Venus, 6 sides. 3 twice makes the 6 in the middle. That's Jupiter and Venus coming together.
Where's Pluto? Because do you know when they dropped Pluto, I was thinking, Pluto to me seems like it has such a power that they've tried to dismiss it. So I've always been kind of interested, and when I've been trying to research it, there's not a lot that comes up, which makes me even more interested. Within the understanding of why they dropping Pluto, and is Pluto actually something very meaningful with like Lilith and all the rest of them that have been kind of forgotten. I not forgotten, but not spoken about because of the power that they hold. But
Well, because now the thing with Pluto, I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong, we all need to have Pluto, but for me, not that I don't like Pluto, it's just I like to call Pluto the little shithead. Because whenever he comes in, think of like having a younger sibling that's like, I want to hang out with big brother and big sister, and then you're just like, oh, go away. But you're so cool, I want to stick with you. Oh, fine, whatever. Mom, Dad, can you go down to the park? Take Pluto with you. Crap. Fine. Okay. Hey guys, what are you doing? Skateboarding. What do you want, Pluto? I bet you I can skateboard like you guys. Here, watch this. Pluto, get off the skateboard. Face plant.
that's me. I was Pluto. I was actually Pluto.
See, my Pluto was my brother, and I adored taking him everywhere. I don't know why, but like, I mean, I remember at first it was like, oh, I'm stuck babysitting him again, and then after a while, like, he kind of became like our little buddy, you know? So,
That was me. My brother was like, Vicky, go away. And my mum would be like, just take away them. My other brother would be like, come along. Because he was like, he'd get me into the dark side. But my brother wanted to kind of save me. And at the end of it, Pluto, who was me, actually ended up saving people without the acknowledgement of actually doing it. Because I was a secret Jackie Chan. I don't know. I tried to.
But that's the well, because that energy when Pluto goes face plant. Well, what happens when you have a kid just have a tragic thing that happens? Well, they scream like ah, and you're just telling them, Pluto, stop crying. Crap. Then you have that big sudden whoa moment, and that's what Pluto does. It takes a moment where it's nice and calm, then all of a sudden hits you upside the head out of nowhere. Because that's
My,
Pluto.
yeah, my dad always taught me how to use my mind. You know, if I felt pain and stuff, um, I could train my mind into not feeling the pain. Or, you know, if I was cold, my dad always said, it's mind over matter, which I've been working on looking into that. But I could tell my mind that it wasn't actually cold. So I don't know.
I know we have a few new people who join. It is Tuesday Tarot. In between doing tarot card pulls, we do just kind of chat about different types of divination. So I did put in there, if you would like a tarot reading, please just type your question in, or you can type general if you'd like just a general reading.
I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off on a whim and try something new.
Cool. Do it.
Thinking, what's in the sack? Runes.
Oh, I should have grabbed my new crystals that I got. I got 2 new crystals. I was a very good girl.
Which ones did you get?
You know what? While you're doing that, I will go grab them because, like, I might as well, right?
Oh my God, there's a certain bird that you just look like when you put that there. I can't think of the name of the bird. I love birds.
Okay, we got Hagalas and the No Rune. Now, what the heck? Okay, let's see here. Well, Hagalas I know for a fact. And it looks like an H. I know Hagalas for most definitely is showing that something is amiss, and you just gotta test to see, can you withstand the storm? Can you take the heat? Are you prepared? Are you gonna face the storm? Or are you just gonna go, oh, I can't handle the storm? Well, it just depends. Because you're going through, and I'm just going all off on tuition because I'm not really that experienced with runes and the whatnot, but with Hagalas, it's kind of like something that is you cannot avoid, and it's nature and power beyond your own capacity to be able to stand up against. And it's something that just has to be faced. And if you make it through, then you've shown yourself that you're able to withstand all of that discourse, the challenges, and that you can proceed. And by the way, so that way you can see it.
See, H to me always is hydrogen. I don't know why it's always stuck out to me, and the more I look into everything that's going on, it's like hydrogen has been missed so much. It's in a certain way. I know that may not have had anything to do with what you're speaking about. Sorry. Sorry. Do you know, sometimes I don't kind of know anything, but I know things. Do you know, when someone comes to me in certain ways, I'll just be chatting, and then my words say stuff, and I'm like, wow, Vic, I didn't even know you knew that vocabulary to say it. But I've never even heard of that stone either. Sorry if I overtalk.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good, but I mean, But now the blank rune now. Although the blank rune, which in this case it was obviously blank, I'm getting that vibe of like, well, after going through all the stuff of Hagalas, this lovely thing, I mean, I love it. People might look at me funny when it's like, you like Hagalas? What are you a masochist or something? No, it's just it's Hell's Rune. That's why I like it. But anyway,
The first time I've heard of that, by the way, I've never ever heard of what is a
Hagalas, Haglaz.
Hagalaz. I'd say Hagalaz, but sorry, Hagalaz.
It's a rune that's kind of like, okay, here comes the storm, can't handle.
Yep. All right, show and tell time.
Holy!
Yeah.
Wow, that's super duper beautiful.
Beautiful. It's going with Sekhmet. Yeah. I'm like, yep, you get to go with Sekhmet. And then I got my Yoker Light Dragon Head.
Your what?
Yoper light. It glows. Like I don't know where my black light flashlight is, but it actually glows. So when you turn, it's one of the fluorescent stones.
Oh.
Yeah. It was funny. My granddaughter was with me and she's like, "Oh, Grandma, these are really cool." And there were some that were glowing pink. She's like, "Get the pink one," because she loves pink. And I'm like, "Yeah, Grandma wants the dragon head." I'm like, "You're usually very intuitive, but Grandma wants dragon head." So
It's crazy. I only ever seen them snakes and stuff when D, I missed the other word, and then the T. And when I had that that's when that's when I started being aware of everything around me, do you know, and within that little trip that I went in, I seen all of the dragons and the snakes, and I was very wary of them, to be fair, at first, and then the more I looked into it, was a realization of the gift that they actually hold.
yeah, they're very mystical, amazing animals. And I was probably like a junior in high school, maybe a senior, and my grandparents had a cabin in South Central Utah near Capitol Reef National Park. And I'm in the park and I see just a harmless little snake. It wasn't a poisonous snake. I don't even remember what kind of snake. There's a picture somewhere of this snake because I took this picture because it ended up snagging. I watched it snag this blue belly lizard, and you could see the blue belly of the lizard as it was going through the snake's body, which was really, I mean, it's just fascinating, like how, their digestive system and everything works. But yeah, you could see the blue belly through its skin. That's the picture that I got, was the blue belly in the lizard, in the snake.
And I mean, that's the card I just flipped. It's like, well, all right then, miss. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, just look at her. This head.
Yep. Fun. Yeah, new pictures are always fun. So yeah, I'm gonna do a shout out. So I went to two places. So I got this one at the Conjuring Tree in West Jordan, Utah. It's a great witchcraft shop. They concentrate on Nordic and Celtic magic. So they have tons of Nordic horns there. So really great shop. So if you ever visit Salt Lake, you want to go to Conjuring Tree. And then the other place where I got my Euchre light, and this is just 100% crystals, this store, it's called Lotus. It's in Draper, Utah. It's a very, very huge crystal store. Really super fun.
Did they deliver as well? Because I ordered my face crystals and stuff. I wanted citrine, and I got false crystals. I didn't realize that people actually did that. But I never buy myself anything. You know, when you're a mum, it's super hard, isn't it, to buy yourself something? And I bought myself crystals and stuff, and I realized it was all fake. And I was like,
You do have to be careful. I mean, I have a website, I have crystals, and I make sure they're all authentic. I had one wholesaler that I was told they were reputable on my first order. More than half of the crystals weren't authentic, so I've never ordered from them since. Because, and I was like, you do realize you sold me like half these crystals aren't even authentic crystals.
It's super bad as well, because I believe that the prices that you pay anyway, they're not making much difference in making false ones. I don't know, but I just always wanted citrine, because citrine, like I'll speak about it in a later date, but it has such a meaning to me, which put me on this journey. So when it got me citrine, and it had all the bubbles with inside it, and then I looked it up and it was fake, and I was like, I didn't say nothing to the girl or anything or bring it up, but I wanted to kind of try and make her aware of it without upsetting her, you know. But
yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I know, like, one of my metaphysical teachers, she had posted some new crystals one day, and one of them just did not look like a crystal. And then somebody who ordered from her had posted, "Hey, just FYI, this is fake." And she pulled it down and showed it everybody because she did note it. Like after that, she looked really close. She was like, "Oh my gosh, they were fake. I can't believe I didn't know this before I listed it." I mean, it can happen. But yeah, I'm really, really picky about who my dealers are for my crystals. Just because of the fact there are fake ones out there. You know, and Moldavite is one of the biggest ones that people fake. I will tell you, Moldavite, if you hold it in the sunlight and it looks more brown than green and there's no natural bubbles in it, it's fake.
Have you got a citrine? Have you got a citrine crystal just to show me? Because that's the only crystal I've ever wanted is the citrine one, and I was a bit heartbroken. Yeah, mine definitely is fake.
Yeah, this one is a citrine, and I have more citrine, but yeah, that one is a citrine.
Do you do a bracelet in citrine?
I don't think I have any. Not right now. No, I don't think I have any right now.
I don't want it till next week anyway. So in a week's time.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. Here there is a huge gem show, and I do buy beads from the guy who comes. So if he has citrine, I can pick some up. But by the time I make it, it won't be. It will be later than next week.
But that'll be perfect anyway.
I'll see if he has any this time. So I know, like for a long time, he didn't have rhodochrosite, and last year he had rhodochrosite, and I was like, yes. So.
And do you believe? Do you know, with me, I'm quite given. So I did have loads of bracelets that I worshipped and that, but I've got a niece who's very far away, and she's autistic and stuff, and I got the feeling to give her all my bracelets. And I give it's like, and when I come back I was a bit like, oh, but I didn't want to feel bad about it because I just felt like that it would help improve her mindset at the moment in time, you know, because she was struggling with her autism and fitting in. So do you believe that giving is something that sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this, sorry.
Like what would help with the autism?
Yeah. Not only that, it's like sometimes I feel like I give all my stuff away in certain ways, and I don't know why I do this because I haven't got a lot, but I'm like I've always been like that. My mum used to always shout at me, you know, because I'd always give all stuff away, but sometimes I get this feeling, and I don't know if I don't know if that's me being wrong in certain ways, you know, and I don't know. Sorry.
Well, you know, I mean, I've have some people where I've like actually given a crystal from my collection to. But when you're working with somebody who's autistic, first see if they want it, because a lot of them are, you know, some of them are going to accept it and work with it, and not necessarily work with it. They might accept it, and some will not. It does depend on their level of autism and how if it's something that they want, you know, because some of them are sensitive to textures and stuff. So I would first ask.
Yeah, and I actually did because I had them on, and I just got this big feeling, you know, because we was having conversations which I wouldn't speak about, but I got this feeling, and every time I see her, she does say like it's in a collection, you know, and it meant a lot in certain ways. So I do understand that, but part of me is like, I really love them bracelets. Why do I do it all the time? I always see, I'm like, you're so well.
Yeah, I know how that is. Like when I went to the crystal store with my granddaughter, I said one crystal, because her and I can go crazy in the crystal store, and she's little. She's only 5.5. And she's like, okay. And she picked a crystal, and I told her it had to be big because she's got a baby brother now. And I'm like, you have to pick a big one because we don't want him to swallow it. He's not crawling yet, but I know like that's coming soon. So she was really good about that. But then we were like walking up, and she's like, can I get a bracelet too? Because she loves her crystal bracelets. And she used to always call the crystals rocks. And now like I'm used to around her calling them rocks, and she goes, Grandma, they're crystals. And I'm like, well, some are crystals, some are rocks, and some are stones. So now I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can educate you because now you're catching on. So, but yes, the bracelets. Some people really love the bracelet. I mean, I have them. I don't wear them all the time. But the amount of bracelets I have, I literally both sides of my arms, I could go all the way up to my elbows from my wrists with bracelets.
That's my arm at the moment, but it's loom bracelets, made out of rubber. Which when I went, all my nieces and nephews made me, so I've got all of them, and which is comfortable. But I used to sleep with my bracelets on, and someone said to me, you'd have to take them off because otherwise you're taking on the next day's like troubles and stuff, so I did. I do want to get them back, but I do feel like when I get like that little message in my head, I always feel like it was meant to be, and
yeah, I don't sleep with mine. I get like I roll a lot in my sleep. I don't know why.
I sleep with my hands under my head, so I wake up with like bracelet marks in my face and stuff, which isn't very necessary anyway.
Yeah.
But I lose everything, so I never like to take things. I bet you he can get his leg over his head. Hey,
Look that way for a second.
you did. Hey, Bren, I bet you. Can you put your leg over your head? You can. I know you can. Yes, I knew it. I can do that. That's my party trick. But when I put two legs over my head, have you ever been stuck? Have you ever been stuck though?
So I know we have a few new people that just joined. It is Tuesday Tarot. In between pulling tarot cards for people, we are just having random discussions. Sometimes we do talk about tarot. So if you would like a card pulled, please feel free to put your question in the chat or type general, and we'll pull a general reading for you. So Bren and I are ready. We got all of our cards. We're good to go. I've got like several decks actually out.
And, well, I figured also, because since we're going about the...
We got a general.
Where?
Hey, Kaza.
Kaza for general. Okay, let's see.
Yep, I'm supposed to use this deck. Okay. All right, Kaza.
Oh. Okay. All right. Yes, okay. I know exactly which deck I'm going to use. Whatever.
All right, what does Kaza need to know from the universe? Ooh. All right, honey. Someone is after you. Someone is literally either they're talking about you behind your back or they have done something to you behind your back. And so you're probably like, you either know about it or you do not yet know about it. And what is really interesting is, see, down here we've got the moon in a crescent. So it is starting to move into the new moon. And ironically enough, we are moving into a new moon where you'll be able to heal and grow from this backstabbing, literally. This is like a literal backstabbing. And maybe, I don't know if I can say that. I guess I should have said back utensiling. I don't know. Like, I'm sure TikTok does not like that verbiage.
Back poking, like.
Yes, there we go. Back poking. Back poking.
Back with the pointy.
Yeah. So, it could be something as simple as just someone talking about you behind your back and you're not aware of it. But Bren, let's see what our link is.
I was pulled to pull two.
Okay.
And we have, the first one that came out is Malthus, which is Libra, Mercury, which is also the power card, so looks like that. It's a bird caught in between buildings like that. And then we also have the Fool, Valor, and he is Venus in Aries. Now, Malthus has a reputation for being one that can either protect and fortify you or completely demolish fortifications around other people. But then we bring Valivor on top of that. Now, Valivor, he is quite a prankster. He is quite the DS talker. And if you notice the way that he's depicted, he kind of looks like something. Well, because Belvoir, the horse's head. Yeah, that's Belvoir's head, where the horse is at. But you notice like how he looks a little bit funky, gunky, and a little bit off, kind of like he could be like a shapeshifter. That's the vibe. But with it being also what's making this even jump out even more weird is that you have an Aries Venus and then a Libra Mercury, which in regular astrological placements that's not possible. So there's this confliction between the self, but then also at the same time of other. There could be a situation where one individual may have their walls up, or somebody is spreading BS to take down your sense of security, or they're trying to infiltrate your protection to then take what they get from infiltration and then use that to defame you with. So be very aware, but at the same time, Belvoir does favor, at the same time, being proactive in trying to understand what somebody's ulterior motives are. And he also helps those that are trying to steal back what was taken from them, but in a way where it's more comical. So if somebody has taken something from you or has violated your sense of safety and security, turnabout's fair play. Just be very careful in what you do. And then you have at the bottom of the deck King Vine, which is Sun in Scorpio. Definitely also not be afraid to be rather speak loud and carry a big stick with it, but just be really aware of how you progress from this, because there is some energy of BS going on with it.
Yeah, and Kaza asked, keep my walls up? Yes, I would say yes. Keep your walls up. Be on the lookout.
Do you have anything about dreams? Because I do vivid dream a lot, but my last dream, like I got pickpocketed, and I was like, I seen the actual faces. I don't know if this means I don't know, but it's like stuck in my mind. I got pickpocketed, and I seen the two people's faces, and it was like I understood that you pickpocket. I don't know. Does that make any sense? Sorry.
Well, I always recommend write everything down in your dream. That's first and foremost. I don't do a lot of dream interpretation, but I look for symbols in dreams. So when I'm writing down what I dream, I write down every single thing that I see in the dream.
But I do get worried about writing things down, and I know this sounds crazy, is because I dream very vivid constantly, and I sometimes feel like if I write it down, it will give light to the dream.
Well,
So
when they're vivid, you're doing prophetic dreams anyway, or you're doing lucid dreaming. So you're doing one of the two.
yeah, I can control my dreams. I can go back and sleep into it, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so definitely write things down because there are messages coming through. So it's a matter of interpreting the messages. So I highly recommend writing everything down, because sometimes pickpocketing, like that might not actually even mean what it is. It might be, what was it that was taken? What did the person look like? What were they wearing? So there's like lots that you would need to interpret with it, if that makes sense.
To be kind of fair with you, when I have dreams, the dreams that I've from even my whole life, I kind of sense that certain dreams that I've had a meaning to. I remember very vivid. I remember the faces and everything anyway, and like I've had dreams where it's took 20 years for me to realize what the dream is, but I tend to have that stick into my mind until it comes to light of what the meaning is anyway, do you know, and I really I do write poems down and stuff and a few things, but also I've understood that I am a manifester without understanding it. So I am always very careful in things that I write down because it's like writing it's in my eyes, it's like sometimes it can be dark or sometimes it can be light. So I'm very careful of what I write down, and I believe that what is meant to be stuck in my head will be stuck in my head until it comes out. But I just don't like to put things down on paper. I know that sounds mad.
And even at that too, another thing that is really about dream interpretation, it is extremely individual perspectively based, meaning that you can have somebody dream of a black widow spider. One person's going to think like, oh, you're going to kick the bucket, you're going to fall into a trap. But then you have another person that sees a black widow spider and think, oh, so I'm going to be stepping into my feminine empowerment. I'm going to take control. And if there's a masculine figure or male around me that's not respecting me, okay. So it's like I'm going to be the one that comes out on top. Perfect. So it just depends. And also, what is like another example is when there's like the symbolic reference to a snake. Now, a snake, some people think, oh gosh, somebody's going to be sly and slick like a snake, or have there's a snake in my boot kind of vibe. Or it could be like in Macbeth, where it's like be like the innocent flower and be the serpent underneath it, to have that element of deception, grace, poise, to move in a way where it captivates whomever is paying attention. Or it's also elevation too, and also the color of the snake. What direction is it going? Is it on water? Is it slithering backwards, moving forward, left, right? All these things are all little symbolic references of how you can interpret it. It's not bad or good. It's just that when you're looking at something, look at all sides to it. Snake. Okay, we have elegance. We have venomous. We have adaptable. But then we also have the ending of one to emerge brand new. So when you're able to stand in that neutral spot and say, well, here's the good part about the Black Widow. Here's the part about the Black Widow that's like, I better be careful. And here's another part where it's like, yeah, well, I mean, she's an artist. An artist of, kicking the bucket for a male Black Widow. But she's also very self-confident work. And she knows exactly that, well, Cape, you've exhausted your use. Next. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I say write it down, but like follow you. Because if you don't feel like writing everything down, that's fine. Because we all know our spiritual path, and we all know what we need to do. And some stuff we may not know it, and we will learn from other people. So that's why like spiritual panels and stuff are so important, is we can learn so much from other people.
Have you not noticed lately, like, I've had a lot of powerful people with great insight and with the understanding where they've unlocked certain things within themselves, and a lot of them have ended up getting possessed. This sounds a bit crazy, so and that's happened quite a lot with a lot of powerful people that have been around me. So I've got to understand and be careful for everything that you do and say and feel and think, because people are losing themselves because they're trying so hard to reach out and get the entities to enter within them with the knowledge that they already actually know. But within that, they're leaving themselves an open vessel to bad entities. And I've noticed that quite a lot lately. So everything that I speak about and do, even though I sound like I've not got a lot of knowledge or nothing, but I've got a lot of I've seen a lot. I've witnessed a lot of stuff. So everything that I say and come from is from actually seeing and being there and feeling it and going through it. So it's just sorry. I've been trying to stop saying sorry as well. I've been working on that.
And well, I mean, I can most definitely confirm that yes, opening yourself up does have that risk, but at the same time, it is very imperative, and by imperative meaning that it should be like priority number one before doing anything at all, is that you have the core foundation and understanding of you and where you stand. And that you having that foundation, if you do try to make an attempt to reach out or by any means connect to anything, no matter what happens going forward, if you have that strong foundation, you're not going to be influenced or woozy-wooed by anything. Like, say, for an example, and I mean, this is probably using me as a good example, working with the goetic spirits, it can be very easy to get woozy-wooed by them, but at the end of the day, me having this foundation of like, okay, I'm my own being, I'm aware of myself, I know my limitations, I know what I'll accept, I'll know what I won't accept. If I'm not respected, then no matter who I'm speaking to, call it out, say, we're not going to be thinking that we're going to be speaking to me in a way that makes me feel inferior. No, we're equal. But if it happens again, well, toodaloo, done. Nope. Try again the next time. So having that foundation, and say if I invite, say, let's see here, let's pick a really, if I was to invite King as Asmodee, and if he comes in, gets a little feisty and pushy, I don't care what his rank is. I don't care if he's a king. My king, can you please be a little bit more considerate? And calling it out there and taking a stand for myself. If there's anything pushing back, if he pushes back again, say, well, I'm sorry, my king. We're going to have to do this another time because I'm not feeling respected. So you may take your leave, my king, and that is that. But if I didn't have that foundation and think that, oh, this is King Asmodee, I don't know what to do, I'm kind of a little timid, that leaves you open. But having that strong foundation of the self being, I don't care who you is, you and I were equal. We both are entitled, and I'm using that word correctly, entitled to see each other as an equal, and we need to both equally invest in one another. So with that in mind, there's no excuse to be trying to think, well, this guy is some mortal, I'm just going to do this to him, or I'm going to manipulate him to do this. And the same vice versa for me. Just because I know how to use the Goetia and force them to do something, no, I'm not going to do that. Because why? If anything, that just shows that, wow, this kid's kind of a little weak and disrespectful and doesn't have consideration. I don't like that. I'd rather just invite them as equal. And then that's how genuine connection and growth happens for both.
Yeah, and funny, everything you just said, that's because I got a little frightened because it's happened a few times, and you know when that happens with someone and they speak from other people and they speak very negative, I get a little bit scared and things that go wrong, and then I have to sit there and kind of meditate and think, don't run away from it, Vic. And I struggled in telling someone who was very higher up than me. So I was struggling in trying to say to them, listen, although you have got that power, you opening yourself up, and exactly what he said, you need to have the strength behind you to be able to have that authority over people, because people are getting mind fuckery. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. So sorry. And that's why I will not open myself up completely, because I understand that I haven't got the foundations within myself at this moment in time. I understand that I've still got to do work upon myself before I give myself that ability to open up. And sorry, am I making sense?
Yeah, you are. And in fact, this is actually beneficial for everybody because when you're operating from a point of, like, say, somebody above you is just acting out of line, especially if it's an employer, and talking down on you, saying all these horrible things. I mean, I went through all that too, and I was one of those that was like a pushover. Then as life went on, the part inward of me just said, you know what? This nice and being, a doormat, yeah, no, done with that. So when the next person that did act out of line towards me or mistreat me or say something uncalled for, when that happened, I just called it out and said, hey, Cupcake, yeah, that BS thing you're doing, treating me like, not nice, you're going to stop doing that. No, I didn't ask you. You're going to do it. You're going to stop. But or you're going to talk to me like that? You're dang right I am, so stop it. Having that confidence and that feeling of self-respect being so strong that somebody else outside of you, their title, it doesn't mean anything. Woo, you're a CEO. Okay, but you're still a flathead. You don't know how to talk to people, but you're a CEO. Okay, yeah, you're still a flathead. So fix that, CEO.
Yeah, I kind of see it as, when you tread water, when you're learning to swim and you have to go in your pajamas, to tread water. I've been looking at everything that's been thrown at me. I've been seeing that as me treading water, because I've been thinking, if I can immune myself to the stuff that I can't see being thrown at me. When I put my costume on, I'll float in a way. So but I've had to realise it for Vic, because I've grew up always taking the blame and trying to because I don't like seeing other people sad. Now I've come to the conclusion of now I'm not going to take it anymore, and I believe that I've strengthened myself with enough heartache that now I need to be like swimming in my costume and not my pajamas. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And, well, usually, and I mean, this is even something that I used to struggle with, and again, this is another thing that applies to everybody. Somebody else's sadness, discomfort, or being in a hissy fit, ultimately, really, it's not your issue. It's not your problem, unless if you choose to make it. Because it's not your emotions that are in the hissy fit mode. So if they're not your emotions, nope. But if you want to, that's your choice. If you want to help somebody through that, or go after it, or combat it, or stand in some way with it, that's up to you. But if it's ultimately your decision, it is. Because if you're dealing with somebody that's like, no, not doing that. A scooch tush away, or I'm not going to deal with it. Or you can make the choice to be like, okay, take a few deep breaths in, breathe in, chill. What's the issue? But that depends on the person and how much patience they have. But self-preservation has to come first. And before somebody says to me, it's selfish. I know, that's the point. Because if the self and you aren't well, you're not standing, it's like you're laying face plant on the ground and breathing in dirt, and you can't do anything because you're not standing.
You're being a little bitch in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like that, but it's just like you're like on the ground, face planted, and you can't do anything because you're on the ground. If you want to do something for somebody else, you got to stand up on your own feet first. Then you can help. But if you're trying to help while on the ground, well, you can't move. You're stuck. And now you're talking into the ground like, oh yeah, I'll be what? Yeah, you have to get yourself standing and secure enough to function. When you're like that, then everything else can be worried about. Until then, if you're face planted on the ground, it don't matter who it is. Thank you. Don't care who it is. They can wait until you stand back up.
You just feed on the negativity and the dark side, really, aren't you? If you do just like stay face down, you're not helping anyone. You're just escalating an issue without helping them do it. So within the strength that you show, it's like lead by example. So then show them what they can be in a certain way. And I'm sorry to go on as well, it's because obviously I was in situations and places, so when I hear people and their mindset, I can automatically understand how they're feeling and thinking. And I always put myself in their shoes and think, even though when I say certain words and they'll just like give me hell or be very rude, I kind of in the back of my mind understand that they will go to sleep and sleep on it, and maybe think about their actions, and it could improve themselves, which will help their family and so on.
Yeah, and I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with hoping for the best and hoping somebody realizes what they're doing. But in the state of preserving yourself, if it gets to a point where it's like, okay, too much of this hissy fitting coming at me, so I'm going to put my hand up and say, enough of that. Take a breath, scoot over there, have a few breathers, then come back to try again. Because if it's too much and it affects you, that's not fair to you. Somebody else's hissy fit shouldn't have to also come at your cost. Because if you're just fine and dandy and then he who is hissy fitting most comes in and ruins it, that's not fair to you. It's not fair to you to get thrown off your groove because of temper stomping tamping, just stomping the ground, and then it comes off on you, and then it messes you up. That's bad.
And I feel so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you're dying, so sorry. I will. I never understood self-love and stuff. So I understood that when I put myself in them situations, I'm draining myself, and then that has a detrimental effect of how I am as a mother. So then I'm speaking all love and light, but then I'm angry with my children due to me draining myself. So it's about putting your priorities in correctly in certain ways. So it's like look after you and your vibrations and your love will then pass through to your children. But go on, sorry.
I can't really have an input for children because I don't have any. Although I did take child development in high school, though I can't. The thing that I will say is that when it comes to child development, the ultimate goal is to give the child the tools and the guidance that they need to grow and become the best version of themselves. But at the same time, while guiding the child and teaching the child, it is also a test of oneself to see do they understand how to give guidance to a child. And ultimately, there's really no right or wrong way. The only thing that truly matters is that regardless of whatever happens, you're still giving that child the absolute best guidance that you can and giving them what they need to succeed to the best of your ability. What that is, I don't know. I'm not you.
So I'm going to just intervene because we are on Tuesday Tarot, and I know we've lost a couple people, but I wanted to make sure those guests, it is Tuesday Tarot. We did get a little sidetracked, but if you do want a reading, please type general or the question you have, and we'll gladly pull cards for you. And then, I do need to do a reminder about Thursday. And you know what, Bren, you were right. Like when I looked at my notes after I got off and I was also so exhausted on Sunday. We are doing Uranus this week. Neptune is next week, and the week after that is Pluto, and that will wrap up our planets. So our spiritual panel will be Uranus this week.
Oh boy.
Yes, Matt giggles every time you Uranus.
I know, Bren says it really good. You say it perfect.
I realize how much of an idiot and a kid I am because I can't hear that word without having a little giggle.
I know, and it's like so hard, but it is there. And then every Sunday is Witchy Book Club, and we're down to our last 3 chapters in Witchy Book Club. So we're doing The Anatomy of Spirit by Carolyn Miss, and we are doing the part 2, chapter 6. It is our 6th chakra. Yep, our 3rd eye chakra. So that will be this Sunday. All my lives, I'm live on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, and I'll do a reminder video too. But yes, if you just joined and you would like a tarot reading, we are doing tarot readings tonight, and you can type your question in the chat, or you can just type general if you would like a general reading.
You know what? Since last week you asked me to pull for you, do a pull for me.
Oh, yes.
Let me see what comes out, because turnabout's fair play.
It is. Ooh, I'm supposed to do this deck for you.
Which one is it? Is it the Nordic one?
Oh, almost. It's my Nightfall Tarot.
Oh,
There is Nordic overtones in it. But yeah, this one was calling to me. So
very interesting.
yeah. And it is a beautiful deck. I do love this deck too. All right, your card, friend. Wow. You got the Queen of Pentacles.
Oh, I was about to say, I swear to Lord Lambda, that's the Queen of Cups. I'm going to say, you know what? F that deck too. Because,
Here's the star as well.
So, Bren, you've got something new going on. Something new and exciting is coming your way. Like, I'm really feeling that, especially because we've got the rabbit. We've got the rabbit down here. There we go. Like, trying to get it there. But it has to do with like prosperity. So something new is coming. Maybe you're going to get like a ton of readings. This
I would love that.
Yes, right? Yeah, like something new is coming your way. It's like a new. I'm just really feeling new, and prosperity is really coming your way.
Let's see. If I remember correctly, I think that is. Hold on. Yeah, look at it. It is the Queen of Pentacles. So I think that is. Let me see. Let me open this book up. Queen of Pentacles. That is a. Because now what I'm doing is I'm going through like almost near.
We've got the star. What we've just been speaking about.
Let's see. Going through
And this one has everything new because there's even tulips over here. So it's really telling you like new. Maybe it's going to be a new client that will come every month or something. I mean, something new is.
I think it's a new book. You should write a book.
Queen of Pentacles. That I think that's Capricorn to Aquarius. If I'm correct, I'm just gonna be like, really, but I don't know.
I'm Aquarius, so and there's something new.
Yes. It's yeah, that's a cool card too.
So it had tulips, rabbits, and
tulips.
And the star, I think is very prominent.
And we do have that mountain back there, but then like, over here.
This is kind of like in a Japanese or Chinese attire in a way.
It almost does look that way.
Because if it's having that theme of Chinese influence, in a way that makes me think of what's her name from Chinese mythology? That's with rabbits. Crap. Looking right at her. What's your name? Chunga. There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm sitting here and I've seen some beautiful drawings of yeah.
Chunga, fairy of the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the moon with the. Oh, there she is.
She's holding on to the star as well, where it's like that's something like it's like it's the only thing she's holding, isn't it?
Yep, that's the pentacle that she's holding there. So.
We'll have a looky at this. If my phone would be so kind to just do what it's supposed to do.
And as we say that, please don't forget those here. If you want the reading, you can put your question in the chat or type general. Wow, what a cool contrast.
Wow.
But also don't forget to follow us and especially follow Bren because he's actually so good with Vedic astrology. Like, go get your astrology reading. Get
it done.
May I have the cards when you get a minute?
Yes. You're supposed to have this deck.
And I mean, I also notice how she also has this.
Has the moon or a halo behind her. I would go.
Is she holding on to the star as well?
Well, pentacle, yeah, but there's also she's holding a staff. With looks like a blue topaz or clear quartz. Oh, and also, by the way, hello, little goat.
Goats.
Sometimes I need a magnifying glass to just see like all the intricate artwork for the tarot. I should probably buy one.
I'm kind of. Do you know what's crazy? I got a pair of glasses off my dad, but I can see clearly with them. But you know what's very upsetting is my dad is blind, and I can see out of his glasses. I know that sounds a bit mad, but it's true.
All right, your card fell out, Vicky. I got the Page of Utensil. So we can't say the S word. Well, I guess I could say wards. So I'm seeing, wow, this is like a lot of energy going on here. Like there's just a ton. I wanted to see. Oh, okay. Um, Lots of flight. So there's lots of movement coming up for you. There's lots of changes. And like I'm seeing like with all these different colors and the changes, you're going to have a lot in the day going on. So you do need to make sure you get good night's sleep is what I'm really getting. And just spread your wings and take on what's coming your way. Like you can handle everything that's coming your way. You've got the strength and you've got the power behind you. And that's really what I'm getting with this. Be ready and open to communicate.
And birds are very powerful to me at this moment in time as well. Everything I draw is birds, and I'm always, although I'm like the Matrix and Jack Chan in my dreams, I'm an eagle. Like I always fly around in my dream.
Yeah, so Bren usually pulls a card too, so.
I'm just waiting for them to say stop or.
Yep. Nope, I get it. No, I totally get it. Sometimes I'm fast, sometimes I'm slow. And
Yeah,
sometimes the cards are fast, and sometimes the cards are slow.
Right. Close. That was almost it, but okay, fine. Just say. Didn't you just mention something about rest?
Wow. Yes, I said get rest. See, this is why Bren and I are always in sync. Like the cards, they tell us what's supposed to happen.
But how do you rest when when I sleep? I do more work in my sleep than when I'm awake, and people don't understand it. But so I don't know how to rest, if that makes sense.
There's lots of actual really great tools out there. One that I love when I have a really hard time sleeping is I listen to the Solfeggio frequencies. They help me out tremendously. And sometimes I'll be like, if something's bothering me, like if my throat chakra is like out of balance, I'll just listen to the Solfeggio frequency associated with that. My personal favorite is Meditative Mind. They do have a YouTube. They're on Spotify. They're on all of them. But I like to pick the one that's like 6 hours long and goes through all of the Solfeggio frequencies because it heals different parts of your body and it also helps you sleep. So I just put it on and I
sleep very well. I just in my sleep I'm more active in my sleep than when I'm awake. It sounds crazy, but yeah.
Didn't you draw the Page of Blades?
Yes.
Because this is the princess, and then there's the four.
Wow.
And what's interesting with the princess, she's holding it with one hand, and she's not distressed at all. It's like she's becoming one with the wind.
Yeah.
She's on the ground because the princesses or pages, they are the earth energy and the air. So it's kind of like she's becoming a dancer of a dancer that dances with the wind and then slashes with the wind.
Dance with the devil so you can glide with God. Sorry.
It's like the energy of rest causes the mind. Well, it causes the tangible then to move freely, the thoughts to move freely. It's Jupiter in Libra twice, so.
It's like lately it's because I've always said I've danced with the devil, but then do you know when you stand on your dad's feet when he dances, I believe I learned to dance with the devil so I could glide with God. Sorry.
Well, and I mean another way to even look at it is that how am I gonna put this? There's nothing wrong with dancing with the devil. It's just that you gotta know when you have plenty of dancing. Like twirl, twirl, release, let him go, then come back, twirl, twirl, release, let him come back.
I love you.
Well, I mean, that's what it is, because the minute that you're like, okay, we're twirling, twirling, okay, this is the 50th twirl, I gotta let go, but I can't. I'm just so tight with the dizzy. Nope, just twirl, twirl, come back.
And I do believe that for years I've been dancing with the devil, and that's where I see me, you know, where I say standing on your dad's feet. So, to me, dad is God. God is my father, you know, and so it's like I've danced with the devil, and now I've let go of that, and now I'm gliding. I'm gliding with God, because he does not want me to dance. He wants me to glide with him. So I'm standing on God's feet, if that makes sense. I explain things that
I'm looking for one card because I'm gonna also explain. Up there he is. Literally speak of the devil. Funny enough. So now, usually when you see the devil, people think like, oh, log lantern. No, because the devil, believe it or not, of course, it can represent being stuck to something, chained to something, and like, oh, I must have this. Oh no, I can't get out of it. But ultimately, the devil is at the same time the realization that, hey, I need more control. I need to go, whoa, hold on. But at the same time, it is a card of enjoyment to experience the physical and the mundane, but you got to reel yourself back in. Otherwise, the lack of control is when the other side of the stereotypical devil does come out. Yep. The loss of control and being blinded by that thing that is blinding you, where you do things that you don't want to do. But then
sorry, you're telling me something I'm involved. So it's like choice. It's like it's kind of about understanding the darkness and everything, but then it's giving you the ability of the choice that you make is very detrimental. Is that wrong? Sorry,
I wouldn't say choice, but it's more along the lines of, like, say for example, like say I want more of this energy drink. Okay, that is my 5th can today. I really like how it tastes. I'm going to have another one. And then there's the 6th one. I'm going to have another one. Then another. That's when that's the devil coming out in a way where it's getting hooked. But then the devil is also this. Okay, that was a nice can of that. Although I want one, I'm good for now. That's also the devil, because you're restricting yourself. There's something that you like and you want, but you're like, I've had plenty.
Yes.
That's the devil. That's the...
Please be careful with them energy drinks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to put in, but please be careful with them energy drinks. And I know there's a lot worse going on at this moment. I really do. But I have actually lost a friend due to energy drinks. Crossed my heart to know to die. And so I do apologise. I don't want to be that person, but please be careful with them energy drinks. Please, sorry.
Well, even then, it could, because really the vice of anything, it can like be anything from simply having a vice of just like even smelling things, tasting things, even a vice to money, a vice to, well, this is going to sound so controversial, but hold my wine glass. A vice of organized religion, a vice of faith. Yes, vice of faith. Meaning that you become so blind by faith that you're addicted to it.
I'm like the biggest arsehole, to be fair with you, by the way, when I'm saying that I have got so much that I need to work up on. So when I say that to you, I feel a bit like, don't say that, because obviously I've got worse things that I'm doing than energy drinks, you know. But sorry, I have to stop fucking saying sorry. I've been trying to not swear either.
So we are doing, it is Tuesday Tarot, we are doing tarot pulls. So if you would like a tarot pull, you can put your question in the chat, or you can type general and we'll do a general reading for you. If we don't get a lot of questions, we will wrap up in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to just throw that out there. If we have questions, we'll stay a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, oh, we got a general. Okay, ooh, let's see.
Sunburn. Okay, let's see which one I can grab. Let's see. Let's go with. I know. Here. I'm gonna go with the definitely not Tim Burton girl. It's Deviant Moon.
We have many, many decks. So we're shuffling for you, Sunbun.
Yeah, definitely not Tim Burton. There we go. And I say that because of the art style.
Oh, wow. King of Pentacles. It's a Pentacles kind of night. You are standing your ground. You're very balanced. People look up to you. You may have a lot of people approaching you, requesting advice. And I love this fire. You've got fire on one side, and then we've got, like, is that water? I just want to double check. Oh, no, it's the sky. So we've got the air element on one side, and we've got fire element on the other. And we can't have fire without air, right? So this is pretty balanced here, minus the water. But people look up to you, and you have guidance, and you have a story to tell and share that is going to help people. They're going to learn from you and be able to take the guidance that you have and your wisdom and apply that to their life, and it will help them. Ah, Pisces, there we go. So you have your water. So here you go. This card is giving you the other elements you need. Ooh, and what do we got, Bren? I'm not going to be surprised. I know they're connected.
Well, we have this. The devil. And also the wake up, judgment. So
Judgment. Wow.
Funny enough, the King of Pentacles, the way that, let's see, because the way that it is, it looks, well, here, I'm going to flip myself so that way it makes sense. I don't want to leave the live bloody thing.
Yes, you have more fire, Sunbun. Yes, you've got a lot of fire coming your way.
Okay, so looking at this is like the fire is on the devil's side, if you see that. It's like, okay, bringing it the heat. But then you have wakey, wakey, time to come up for bakey, or bacon, or whatever that. So, and funny enough, this is the waning moon on the devil's side.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And over in this one is the new moon, because the moon right there is darkened. So
ironically, we're heading towards the new moon, too.
Yeah, moving towards it, but now, again, the devil figure is ultimately based off of a Middle Eastern mythological jinn called the Ifrit. That's what it's based off of. So with this, and because the way he's just standing and looks like he's kind of doing a one-legged prancy thing, kind of like being cutesy, that's kind of like the vibe of saying, if you're restricting yourself from saying exactly what you need to say, and you're tiptoeing and being very careful with your words, this is kind of the wake-up call to you being all, you gotta put yourself first. If you step on their feet, well, oh well, sustain yourself, respect yourself. Wake up, the true self, it needs to sustain. Now. Yeah, that's the vibe I get. So that is a vibe of Saturn, because the devil is Capricorn Saturn. But then it's also, this is Venus and Pluto, which also might be the double term. So a lot of, bringing back life, bringing oneself back to life by means of allowing oneself to go towards one's desire and not be afraid of expressing it, but then also knowing when to speak and not to speak. But when it needs to come out, there is no restriction of it because of authenticity. At least that's what I see.
It's funny. Well, I was gonna say it's also like saying just be strong in your authenticity. You know, it's
This card just slipped and fell out of the deck.
oh wow.
Really? My card? F this deck. So when you're authentic, okay, this is how I read her. Whenever she pops up, it's like when you're moving in that way, you'll now be in your most optimal state.
Yep.
Because this is water and water. And if you notice, the moon is starting to wax in that one, while it was waning in the other. So, letting this go, and this is major, meaning that this is something more on a deeper level. You get more spiritually attuned, and you're more ginger with your solo cup. You don't pour it out willingly. They don't give you feels to people much easier. Yep, and there it is again. Actually, right, that's it. Yeah, this is 7 of Wands. Like, don't bonk me, please. Don't bonk me. No. Don't be afraid to get feisty and sassy. Because your emotional fulfillment and happiness is underneath with the full moon in the back.
Fun. We always.
That's a big word.
Yes.
It's a big word. I love it.
Yes. Your own voice does matter in every conversation. And I always stress be heard. I mean, we do need to listen to other people, but when you're not feeling like you're heard, you need to let your voice. I've told people it is my turn. You need to listen to me. And you have to sometimes get firm with people.
Yes. I mean, I'll be the first to say it too. Like, I've even told people, shut face and listen. Thank you.
Yep. There was a woman I worked with, and, she would always interrupt, and I will literally, like, when my family members and friends, they know her name, and I'll be like, you're pulling and I'll say her name. And then they're like, oh, we're not listening to Rowan. Because I'll call them that.
You know, with me, I've actually been working on my patience. So I sit there sometimes and I'm like trying to say something because I'm scared that I forget what I'm going to say. But then I have to pull myself back and come back to where I've been teaching myself patience. Because, you know, when you grow up and a lot of people always shut you down anyway, so you never get to speak. So I'll go slow down again. So I used to always try and rush what I was saying because I try and get it out there quick before it got shut down. And so it was like a lifetime of things that I've gone through, trying to be like, now Victoria, please just listen. You've got to you know, listen. So every day's a learning day to me, and when I see beautiful people like you, and especially you, you make me feel so comfortable and stuff, where I do have to understand that pull yourself back, Vic, and patience is something that I'm trying to re-educate myself on.
Yes. Well, and this is a spiritual safe place. So I do want everybody to feel safe here so that we can grow and we can learn and we can ascend together. That I think is really important. Yes. All right. Anybody else want a reading? It is Tuesday Tarot. If you want a general reading, you can type general, or if you have a specific question, you can type your question in. And I want to thank everybody who has given gifts to all of us here on panel. That means a lot to us. So thank you so much. And thank you for the hearts. The more hearts I get, it bumps me up a little bit. And I know I didn't go as long last week, so I think people kind of forget I was here. So I was off visiting, visiting family. So did still go live, just not as long. And my nephew's like, why can't I go on? I'm like, because you're a minor.
You can't go on because you're a minor. That minor detail.
Yes, exactly. Well, and like my brother wouldn't care, but like his ex might, you know? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, but you let the dog go on. I'm like, well, yes, because the dog's no longer a minor. You know, once the dog hits 3 years old, he's an adult.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Plus, my nephew dog is too cute, you know? He loves me lots anyway.
Dogs are a gift from God, I believe.
They are. They really are. Well, and it's like, you know, they have, like, it's funny, like, because people will say dogs are, like, daft, and I'm like, they have a lot more insight than some people tend to give them credit for.
They truly have, because have you ever had a dog when your dog looks at you in disappointment? And then, you know, that's when you know you've really messed up. It's like, oh, you know, but when I hug my dog, I remember someone saying to me that dogs are meant to be outside, and that they take your energy. And when they told me that, I think they wanted me not to hug my dog, but it made me hug my dog even more, because I was looking at him thinking, I just love you. It's like he sees me, do you know, in his eyes and that. So it made me hug my dog even more when someone was trying to tell me something to dismiss it. Sorry.
Yeah,
You know,
no, dogs have a sense. Like cats have special characteristics, and they have a sense. Now, both dogs and cats, I know, can tell when there is a presence from like a spirit's around. But dogs can tell like how you are emotionally a lot better than a cat can. They know if you're sad or if you're happy, or if you just need that little bit, you know, like sometimes like if you're missing a hug, or, you know, they just know. They know like, okay, I need to look at them. Oh, I need to like cuddle up on their lap, or yeah, they just know. And it's like, it's just really interesting.
I think it's super
Both are great.
beautiful. It's super beautiful, isn't it? And like my friends got cats that the cats don't go near anybody. But at this moment in time, I've been going to see it was someone who I cared for, because I'm a carer. The cat had never come to me at all, and they don't go with anyone. But I was having a really bad day, and struggling. And the cat come over and cuddled me, and I was like, oh my word, you know, because it meant so much, because the cat actually chose it. It took 2 years, 2 years it took, and the cat come over to me. So I do believe in that at the end. Sorry.
They know. They definitely know. All right. Well, we are going to wrap up for tonight. We will be live on Thursday, and we will be wrapping up. We have last 3 Thursdays of our spiritual panel on the planets, where we're talking about the planets and working with it with the planetary magic and the zodiac. So, you can see Brent and I are like, this was like the best topic. So, and yes, we're doing. I'm gonna Brent.
Yes.
I'm gonna because I know it's gonna come out wrong. So
Uranus ahoy! What?
Yes, I will say one of my nieces. They were learning the planets, and she was probably like, I think 5, maybe 4 at the time, and we came in and they were learning, and she literally said, "Your anus." We were like. All these adults just busted up because the way it came out was just really funny. But yes, it is our funny planet on this Thursday.
Uranus, is that how you say it? Uranus.
Yeah.
It's still funny, no matter how you pronounce it. I believe it still
Right.
comes out as Uranus to me, no matter how you pronounce it.
It doesn't matter how old you are; we're gonna laugh about it. So yes, I will be live 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. So please join us. It's going to be a fun topic. It will be open panel. So if you have experience with planetary magic and astrology, please feel free to come up. And then Sunday, and I'll remind everybody, Sunday we're doing Chapter 6 of The Anatomy of Spirit by Carolyn Miss. It is our crown chakra, or not our crown, I'm sorry, our third eye chakra. I was pointing the right place, I said the wrong one. So again, I'm live Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bren, anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
I will sprinkle one little bit of pixie dust on this, so that way you can kind of have an idea how Uranus is going to be. Think of Uranus like the court jester. That's all. I'll let you run with that. The court jester.
I love that little tease, everybody. Vicky, anything you'd like to say before we leave for the night?
Just love yourself, and I believe that when you love yourself, you love God, and God is within. And don't worry so much about trying to pay attention to educating yourself, because we are at the place where we're meant to be at each time, and we're all individually very beautiful and precious.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Vicky. So thank you everybody for joining tonight. Thank you for all of the hearts. Thank you for all the gifts. They're very highly appreciated. Love having everybody here on panel and love having everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. As always, merry meet, merry part, bright blessings, and namaste.